I'm speaking to you now from one of the cars on the Duquesne Incline, and we're going to be riding down here in a minute, but first I want you to meet Henry W. Schmidt. Schmidt?
Yeah, Schmidt.
Better known as Smitty. You are, what is your position here?
Assistant manager.
And what does that do?
Well, that includes everything but washing the plates and dishes here at time.
And tell me a little bit about the history of the Incline.
Well, it was started about 1873, and we might say 1875 when it went into actual regular daily service. At the early part of this routine of the Incline, they had as high as 3,500 riders a day, 24 hours a day service. These are the original cars.
Well, you used to haul packages, didn't you?
Yes, in the lower part of the car, just where we're standing, is a black section about 4 by 6 feet that was used for hauling packages from downtown up to the upper station of our Incline. And a package as large as a stove maybe would be 1 cent for the haulage charge.
Well, we're on our way down now. Have you seen any change in business over the years?
Naturally, the lower downtown Point Park section is practically something like out of a fairy story book. The former old buildings that were there were 1- and 2-story buildings. Also, many of our riders have remarked about the changes made in our layout, from our view from the top of the Incline.
And it's clear, too, now, by comparison, isn't it? Smoke, I mean?
Oh, a great improvement. They told me that years ago half the time they couldn't see the cars when they got halfway down over the hill on account of the smoggy conditions.
Yeah. Yes, I can imagine riding up and down this hill every day. It's been very fascinating over the years to see the point torn out and all of those changes. Well, you've seen some other changes, too. Are there more or less people living up here on the hill?
Well, we know from historical facts that the hill was built with the aid of the Incline, carrying people back and forth from their home to work and back again. Of course, as I mentioned before, we have about 800 riders now, compared to 3,500 in the 1880s, 1885, 90s, and so on.
Well, how is this powered? How do you get the cars up and down the hill?
Up until 1932, it was steam operated. It was operated with steam engines. After 1935 or 32, it was electrified. We have a large MG motor generator set, which of course takes the AC current and develops DC current. The equipment up in the lower part of our upper station is quite unique. It's really antique. We have a large drum, 12-foot diameter, on which the pulling cables come up. Each car has its own pulling cable. The large flywheel that operates or makes it possible for this drum to be turned is equipped with wooden teeth. At the time, I've asked some of the old-timers why did they do it, and they mentioned that at that time they thought if it made metal teeth and the teeth would break out, they'd have to get a new wheel. But with these replaceable hard maple wooden teeth, it's been quite a novel sight for, I think, every nation on the face of this earth has had representatives here looking at our big wheels.
Smitty might say at this point that they're running the car just a little bit slower than usual for our benefit so we could get a good view in coming down. How long does the trip take normally?
We have checked it very carefully in the last year since the safety director has approved all of our equipment. 2 minutes, 15 seconds for a trip. Prior to that, we made it probably 1 3/4 minutes.
You slowed it down a little bit.
We slowed it, gives many of the people a better chance, and it might add in a little joking way that people coming home can take a little extra snooze when they're in the car, or vice versa in the morning.
Give them long enough to get to sleep before you wake them up. Well, we, of course, are getting a good view of the point as we move down through, and as the car passes us and it's coming up here, that means we're halfway, then I
Yes,
judge.
and of course you understand that the cars are counterbalanced. If this car was loaded with passengers, the other car, not any on the car, it would help to pull the other car up. A counterbalance effect.
You don't have to have the same loads. You don't. There was no load on that car at all, I noticed, as it went up.
What I said, they are counterbalanced.
And so you can load this one and the other one will go.
Now the cable sections of our car. Each car has its own pulling cable, and the safety cable is an individual cable attached to one car and the other end to the other car. It rides over heavy shiv wheels underneath the cab of our upper station, and it acts as a safety device. If anything would happen to the pulling cable, the safety cable, which is only 15 months old now, and the other cables will probably last 8 or 9 years in our incline service on account of the large diameter of every shiv wheel over which our cables pass.
Where is your upper terminal located? Address?
It's 1220 Grandview Avenue. It's about 1,000 feet away from the famous Lamont.
Oh, yeah. So people could go up and walk to the Lamont if they wanted to take a real
We should thank the Lamont because we get probably 50 or 60 visitors every night from the Lamont.
Thank you very much, Smitty. That's all the time we have from here. Let's see now where the magic carpet will take us next.